And what is going on? Here we go. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Team SWARTZ. This is the Recruiting Ain't Easy podcast. Hope all is well. Welcome to the stream. If you're new here, let me know what state you are tuning in from. Whew, it is a great day to be back. Hope everyone is having a marvelous week. We got some people tuning in now, so that's great news. Pardon me, a little under the weather. But with that being said, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Louis Swartz, and I help thousands of people just like you make better informed decisions for their reasons and their reasons alone, so that you don't make a mistake getting yourself into a contract, well, that you'll regret. And with that being said, I also help you get ready both mentally and physically for Army basic training, and we talk about anything you want to talk about Army-wide. So with that being said, I have over 20 years of experience as a recruiter, full-time, and I am also drill sergeant qualified. I have almost 24 years of service altogether, so I have a lot to share. I do not know everything, and if I don't know the answer to your question, I have enough humility to let you know that I don't know and where you could reach out to me, and I could look it up for you. But let me turn on some music here. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. I should get some new music at some point, right? Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. And last week was pretty exciting, right? All right, so if you're new here, post your questions and comments in early so I can get to you. Appreciate y'all. So we got first comment coming in from Luis Rodriguez tonight. Says Team SWARTZ. Hope all is well. Dropping in the show to show some support, and we'll watch later. Can you please do a video on the TAPAS test and tips to pass it if you haven't already? Yes, I can definitely do that. I have not done a tips yet, or a video about the TAPAS yet. It's on my to-do list for sure. We got Xavier Butler with the he has a question. And for some reason, I don't see his question here. Let me know what's up. We got Robbie with the here we go. Hashtag Team SWARTZ. Appreciate you. Another hashtag Team SWARTZ coming in from Kick Clips. I am doing well. A little under the weather, but I am doing okay. Thank you for asking. Appreciate you. We got Alexis Cancel from Brooklyn, New York. Hell yeah, we got New York City up in here. That's what I'm talking about. I've watched a lot of your videos in the last few months, and they were extremely helpful. Signed my contract over a week ago, and I ship out in February. That's what I'm talking about. 27 Delta, that's a good one. Paralegal, that's what I'm talking about. So Alexis, how come you didn't reach out to me? That's $1 million question. Not that I recruit on here or anything, but I'm just curious why you didn't reach out to me first. Or did you find me after the fact? But I appreciate you. Congratulations. Welcome to our family. And good luck to you in basic training and anybody else who's about to leave for basic training as well. I actually have a couple of videos you definitely need to watch if you're not already privy to them now, which is the prep video and the what to pack basic training video. Here we go. And thank you for that hashtag Team SWARTZ. We got Wolfman tuning in from Texas. Want to ask you a question that drill sergeants have been asked since beginning of time. Are drill sergeants at AIT mean? I would say probably not. I would imagine that AIT is more of a relaxed environment. Obviously, if they're getting annoyed with you for whatever reason, they might be a little sharp with their words. But nah, I don't think they're that mean. Robbie says, taking the ASVAB on Tuesday, a little nervous, but studying hard. Hell yeah, get it. So make sure that on test day, when you're taking the test, when in doubt and you can't make an educated guess, choose option 3. It is the most commonly used answer on the test. Also, pay attention to the clock when you have about 15 seconds left and you know that you're not going to be able to get to all the answers that you have yet to answer or attempt to answer. Just choose 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 before time is up. You will be dinged, or every answer basically that you don't attempt to answer will be automatically marked wrong. So it's best to make a guess than to not make an attempt at all, if that makes sense. And then with paragraph comprehension, read the question first and then begin to read the paragraph, and you'll quickly realize that the answer is in the first few sentences. And then you'll find it in the first couple sentences, and just choose the best multiple choice answer. All right, so I'm going to come back to you, Xavier Butler. I finally see your question here. Got a super chat coming in from Johnny Snotnose. Appreciate you as always. Thank you, brother. Watch your medical waiver video. Also, will be getting my all clear letter from my behavioral health specialist for adjustment disorder. Anything else I should know after getting the letter? More than likely, I mean, you should definitely, well, first of all, thank you for supporting the channel as always. And when you go for your behavioral health evaluation through MEPS, if MEPS is the one that's going to be doing it, then just remember, I'm not sure if I said it in the video or not, but when you go through the behavioral health specialist, they want to know that the why you owning it, not downplay or anything like that. And, how did you overcome it? What support system you had then versus what you have now, to include the coping mechanisms. And during the behavioral health assessment, they also want to know what goals you have, what aspirations and inspiration you have in life of things that you want to accomplish and do in the future. All right. And then obviously being positive and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much all I could add to that. But I'm pretty sure I added all that in the video. But good luck on your waiver, and I don't see why it would not get approved. So good luck to you. And again, thank you so much for supporting the channel. And just so you all know, whenever I get super chats like Johnny Snotnose here, as soon as I'm done delivering my previous point, I'll go directly to the super chat and or the super whatever, and I address them accordingly. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And you're very welcome, Johnny Snotnose. So Xavier Butler says, getting a general under honorable discharge, what does that mean? It means that you're being prematurely discharged from the training environment. I don't know why you were being discharged, but that because you're being prematurely discharged is why you're getting a general discharge under honorable conditions. It just basically means that you messed up, but it's not too bad, but this type of discharge is going to prohibit you from any type of benefits that a normal person would receive if they were honorably discharged, but you were generally honorably discharged. Or not honorably discharged, you were generally discharged, but under honorable conditions. But that's all that means. It's not good or bad, it's like somewhere in the middle. Alexis Cancel says 2025. Oh, hang on. Oh, I assume so. We got Kim G with the hashtag Team Swartz. Appreciate you. Thank you very much on that. Found you after. I have some people might be sending your way. Well, as much as I would appreciate the referrals, at least until you come back from training, I would highly encourage you to do your recruiter right and send them their way. As much as I would love to work them, trust me, I would love to work them. But if you choose after you're done with training to send them my way, then that's on you. But out of respect for your recruiter and for my fellow teammates, I would prefer you send them their way. But I do appreciate the thought, though. Thank you. Big brother with the hashtag Team Swartz. Graduated basic in August and AIT in October. Your videos helped me prepare for basic. I started watching your videos when I was a junior in high school back in 2022. Huge help. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Appreciate it. But the hard work was from you. So you should be thanking yourself for your dedication to the cause and staying the course and getting that W. So I appreciate you. And I'm glad that you're giving me that feedback. So thank you. Peace, Love, and Gun says, hey, sir, if I'm in the reserve, do I get a VA loan? So really, really good question. And the answer to that question is after you've served 6 years part-time, then you'll be eligible for the Veterans Affairs Small Business Loan or the Veterans Affairs Home Loan. Now, if you deploy and do at least 90 consecutive days of qualifying federal active duty service, whether that's a deployment overseas or any type of qualifying federal active duty service, then you can qualify for it at that time. But if you stay reserve status the entire time, then you have to wait until after 6 years has come and passed in order to be eligible for that benefit. All right? Appreciate you. You're very welcome, Robbie. Appreciate you coming in and tuning in. Kim G says, how far does Genesis go back for medical records? All right, Kim G, if you really want to deep dive on MHS Genesis, I did a couple of videos for you. But Cliff Notes is as far back as your electronic medical records go is as far back as they'll look. All right. Now, there isn't really a concrete, definitive timeline to how far back they can go. But the big things that they're looking for are pain management, mental health, surgeries, like the big things, allergies, life-threatening things, basically, and things that are tentatively going to cost the government lots and lots of money and disability claims in the future if you decide to file a claim when you exit the military. So, but check out those two videos. And if for some reason you are medically disqualified and you need a medical waiver, highly recommend that you check out this video here. All these videos that I link within the chat, you don't have to worry about clicking on them and whatever. They're linked down below this live stream in the description area. All these videos that I'm posting, so you can always look at them later. But good luck to you at MEPS. May the MEPS gods forever be in your favor. And did you all hear the music in the very beginning of the stream? If anyone was here at that time, did you hear the music? I'm just curious. Like, not the music that you hear now, like the intro tune to the pod. Donnie Bissiere says, is there groups I could go for physical fitness beforehand to prepare for boot camp? Ask your recruiter if they work out on a weekly basis. I remember at the height of my recruiting career, when I put a little more effort into being there for my soldiers, I used to work out with them on a weekly basis. At least one day a week, we would go play basketball, we would go running, we would go rucking. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to do that again, but... oh, you didn't hear the music. Oh, maybe I missed it. So let me know if you can hear the music right now. I'm pretty sure you can hear it now. Maybe if I did that. No, it still would have worked. I hit it hard enough. Maybe if I did it like, yeah, you still would have heard it. Weird. Anyway, yeah, so ask your recruiter if they do something like that. But if you go to my video here, let me put in the chat box, my preparation video, I give you verbally running tips, like how many days a week and what workouts to do. But in the description area, I have a walk-run free workout for you. And I also have a 90-day workout plan that you can download. And it consists of body weight exercises and traditional weightlifting. I suggest that you replace the traditional weightlifting and replace that with running and just keep it body weight exercises. And that program will, and the things that I share about running within the video will definitely get you ready for basic training for sure. Johnny Snotnose says, with active duty, do you have any idea if there is an ability to actually choose your duty station? For example, I would like to go to Fort Drum for my duty station. Ooh, Fort Drum. That one hurts. At one point they were like if not the number one duty station, but one of the top 3 duty stations with the highest suicide rate because it's that horrible up there. I don't know if you really want to go to Fort Drum. Maybe you're choosing Fort Drum because it's closer to New York City. I'm not really sure, because it's in New York. If that's the case and the trade-off is there, great. Otherwise, it's miserable up there. It's cold. It's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. But yeah, I think that's option 21, duty station of choice. And you're going to have to be a little bit more flexible with the MOS at time of enlistment because you're trying to choose that specific duty station. It's primarily a field artillery location. So 13 Bravo, anything 13 series. Oh, you live upstate. That's why. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, so you'll be pretty much in your backyard. Gotcha. All right. Yeah. More power to you. Eric Smith says, I only scored 26 on the ASVAB practice test, and my recruiter sending me to military school in North Carolina. What program is this? I didn't ask my recruiter for details. Man, that sucks that you're not comfortable enough to ask your recruiter that type of a question when you were working with him, but that's why you're here. I'm your virtual recruiter, and I got you. Say less, fam, as they say, right? On God, no cap, best channel on YouTube. Are you picking up what I'm putting down there? Am I using the Gen Z language? I learned a new one today, and y'all let me know in the chat box real quick if this makes sense or if you've heard of this Gen Z or youngin lingo. So basically, it's like when you want to shut someone up or you've delivered your point, it's like a mic drop, and you just be like, clock it. Clock it. Does that make sense to y'all? Like, it was the weirdest thing I heard. It was like 2 days ago. I heard it from an applicant that was sitting at the office with another recruiter. But yes, the program that they're referencing is the 09 mic program, and I did a whole video on it. And you can definitely check it out. And my 09 mic update video. But you can ignore the part where the 09 mic program was canceled because it was temporarily closed until the new fiscal year, which it reopened on October 1st. But the 09 mic program is to help those applicants who need academic assistance in passing the ASVAB or losing body fat to meet the minimum criteria to join as a normal applicant. And it's a phenomenal program. And at the time of the recording of the 09 mic program, it was one or the other, but now you could do both. All right? So hopefully that makes sense. But it's going to help you increase your scores. And every soldier that's sent down there have increased their scores on average of over 35 points. So it's a phenomenal program. Steven Milanovic says, interested in joining the reserves. Wanted your feedback on acne. Suffer from mild back and face acne, mostly smaller bumps in the beard. Also, since you sleep on your back. So were you diagnosed with acne, or you just have acne and you're just sharing that with me? The reason being is if you were prescribed any medication, are you currently on any medication? If you were on medication to include any topical creams that were prescribed to you, let me know in the chat box, and I may have some bad news for you. But if you're just self-diagnosed and you just happen to have acne on your face and your back, nobody really cares. I enlisted a soldier that had acne on his face and his back, and he just didn't check the box that he had acne. You know what I mean? But if you're on medication for it, then you're going to have some big issues at MEPS. You're not allowed to join with medication. Not taking any medication, self-diagnosed, never been. All right, perfect. Perfect candidate, perfect specimen. You'll be fine. Just keep your mouth shut, and you'll be fine because you were not diagnosed from a doctor. So what are we talking about here? Read between the lines. You know what I'm saying, Steven? So good stuff. All right, you're in good hands with Allstate. Where is it? All right, so you're very welcome, Steven. Appreciate you. And good luck. Xavier Butler says, thanks. Hashtag Team SWARTZ. Just curious about it and what usually happens during the process. Oh, shoot. I forgot what we were talking about here. Uno momento, por favor, as I scroll up and look at Oh, general discharge. Perfect. Understood. So basically, you're going to be considered a holdover, in a holdover status, basically meaning that you're not in training and you're just being held while you are being processed. So if you're still currently with your training environment, then you'll be there until your people graduate or until you get discharged. But chances are you'll probably stick around until your people graduate, and you will help out your drill sergeants on a daily. You help them out daily, basically. And at some point, you'll get transferred to a platoon that is basically of similar soldiers as yourself that are pending discharge for whatever reason. And then once your discharge is processed, which could take upwards, unfortunately, to like 2 months. So just get comfortable with being comfortable. And damn, since January. It's taking them this. Well, no, you started training in January. I know that. But from the moment you found out you were being discharged, how long ago was that, Xavier? That's my question. But basically, you just hang out. You'll probably do like CQ or staff duty or whatever else until you leave. But that's what you should expect. And it's going to be a lot of paperwork because they have to submit a packet to justify your premature discharge and whatever that proceedings look like. So you got to understand that when you're at the training site, and this goes for anyone who's in basic training, if for some reason you're going to be discharged, you got to understand that the priority is on the trainees that are doing the thing to get MOS qualified and, you know, move on to bigger and better things. You're secondary as far as priority, unfortunately. Damn. Sounds like you were under investigation if you just found out about it today. Dude, that took him a whole year? Jesus. Well, hopefully you're making some money. You getting BAH at least? Benjamin Coca says, wrote you on IG. I'm a U.S. Marine at the moment and submitted my IST. My GT score isn't where I need it. Can I get a line score waiver? I could have sworn I responded back to you. But there is no GT line score. Well, hang on. Yeah, so there's no GT line score waiver typically ever offered at any time. The only time that there have been exceptions is to become a recruiter or a drill sergeant. Only because I was a candidate of that. But like for actual MOSs, no. They won't usually do that. You'll have to go through the ASVAB improvement course called BSEP. In the Army, it's what we call BSEP, B-S-E-P. Don't ask me what it stands for, but yeah. And when you say IST from the Marine Corps, I don't remember if I asked you this, but does that mean like your contract is ending and you're directly going through a Marine to Guard program, or are you going regular Army? Let me know. I wish I'm a single soldier. Damn, imagine you had an apartment before you left. You would have been rolling in the dough. Jesus. Sorry to hear that, Xavier. But goals, right? Chris says, hashtag Team Swartz. Bless up, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. Much love. Ship off in January for the 09 mic. You think I should take the ASVAB for Dummies, a study guide for help with a course or no? All right, so Chris, every day until you leave, I want you studying, right? With the primary focus being on math and arithmetic. When it comes to word knowledge, they're going to give you a bunch of words to memorize when you get there. And paragraph comprehension is strategy. You read the question first, then you begin to read the paragraph. Once you find the answer, you stop reading, and then you pick the best multiple choice answer. But make sure that you read the entire answer before making that your final selection, because sometimes they like to switch up the wording and it messes you up. But with that being said, between now and the time that you ship out, again, studying 1 to 2 hours. I did a video right here on how to maximize your study habits. Right? That'll talk about how to study and all that good stuff. But So you're going to focus primarily on arithmetic and math, and then you're going to read through the skill portion of the test, like the general science, shop, electronics, mechanic, and assembly of shapes. You're just going to read through those sections, but you're not going to really spend a hefty amount of time in those sections. It's just to familiarize yourself with the electronics and mechanics and stuff like that, right? The reason being is when you're at the 09 Mic program, the primary focus is going to be on the English and math portion of the ASVAB. By you reading every day for 30 minutes through the mechanical, shop, and electronic portions of the ASVAB book, that's going to help you increase your line scores while you're improving your overall AFQT score while at 09 Mic, right? 09 Mic is very, very good, but don't leave it to chance. I have a few videos here that you should definitely check out that will help you with the math and with the math and the arithmetic. So those are the 3 videos I recommend. You're going to pause the video because it's like in the form of a quiz. Pause it. Figure it out. If you get it right, drive on. If you get it wrong, in the video links, there are links in the description area that will deep dive on that specific topic. And then for arithmetic, it's a quiz, but he doesn't have linked videos down below. But all 3 of those videos are going to help you with the arithmetic and the math. And good luck to you. Echo, if I get cleared by MEPS, including a waiver approval, can I change my mind on going guard instead of active duty, or will I have to go through the MEPS process all over again? So good news, not so good news. Good news is your MEPS testing and medical exams are good to go for any branch of service for the next 2 years. The bad news is the waivers are conducted and approved by the respective branch of service that you're trying to join. So if you are going active duty and you got the waivers through them, they have different approval authority. So you're going to have to get your waivers redone through a National Guard recruiter. But chances are that if active duty approved it, that more than likely the Guard would also approve it. Only on rare occasions that it doesn't work out that way. But yeah. Ooh, South Jersey Artisan, man. What's going on, man? Long time no see. You haven't been here in a minute. See, you got retired and now you're better than me all of a sudden. So you don't like tuning in anymore. But I appreciate you. I'm just messing with you. Hope all is well, brother. Thank you for tuning in. And Echo, good luck to you. And yeah, you just got to redo your waivers. But yeah, if you want to go guard, now is the time to do it. YF says, will me being a dual citizen of Canada hinder me at 11 Bravo? For 11 Bravo, no, you're good to go. You could be in there like swimwear and have no issues. Gary Martin says, can I join the National Guard with very bad teeth? So as long as MEPS doesn't catch you, you should be fine. The rule of thumb is if you have more than 30% of your teeth having dental issues, you're running the risk of being denied enlistment. So you might have to do some work in order to get in. But the Army, if you get past MEPS and you get to the training site, 9 out of 10 times, they'll just do the work for you and it's for free. But yeah, that's the general guidance with that. Good luck to you. Johnny talks about that. Nick Malone says, I was in a car crash and had anxiety for a while back in September. Took Zoloft for 3 weeks, but now I'm off of it and feel better when I need to wait a whole year to enlist, and I'm 28 years old. So, Nick, you're like 50-50. All right, so I would assume that at minimum you're going to have to wait 6 to 12 months. For something like that, as long as you didn't have any other egregious injury from the auto accident and you just took Zoloft for 3 weeks and your doctor can confirm that and basically said that you're fully recovered, you know, and all that good stuff, I would imagine that they'll probably just implement a 6-month minimum waiting period, 12-month minimum waiting period, worst case scenario, in my opinion. All right. And then you could do a medical waiver from there if required. I think you'll be fine, but you never know. This is the military. But I think for the most part, you'll be fine. As long as you didn't sustain any major injuries during your auto accident, I think you should be fine. Johnny Snino says, yes, you are the best channel on YouTube. Hashtag Team Swords. Clock it. So clock it is a thing, huh? Seriously, though, is clock it really a thing? Clock it. He also says, part 1, to go along with the all clear letter for adjustment disorder, I was told to obtain the past 5 years prescription history, but I don't have any history of being assigned meds. Will they accept no medication history from my local pharmacy, which his paper would be blank since I was never given anything for adjustment disorder? All right, so you would need to, yes, go to your local pharmacy and get or request the last 5 years of your pharmacy records. If there are no records, then you need a letter from that pharmacy that, yes, you are a patient or customer of theirs, but they can confirm that you have not had any new prescriptions prescribed to you within the last 5 years. To add to that, I would get, if you were under the age of 18 at the time, have your mom handwrite a letter and then sign it in front of a notary public explaining that whenever you had this particular diagnosis and that you were never prescribed anything. And then I would also get a doctor letter that diagnosed you to also say that maybe prescriptions, well, I wouldn't even do that. Don't open up a can of worms if you don't have to. But just get a letter from the doctor who diagnosed you and basically say that you never were prescribed any medication. You were just diagnosed with it, and that you just been coping with it, and you've coped with it rather well to the point where you didn't need any medication. It was very mild or minor, if that makes sense. But yeah, just a letter stating that you've never been prescribed anything. And you get those 2 to 3 letters and you'll be fine. They just need to know for a fact that you didn't get prescribed anything and that you didn't just go to a different pharmacy just to get a letter stating that you didn't have anything. You know what I mean? So the more ammunition, the more medical evidence that you have to support your narrative, the better you'll be. Yeah, exactly what South Jersey Artisan just said. And you're very welcome, Johnny Snot-Nose. Steven also says, not taking any medication, self-diagnosed. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Junior Calcano says, 31 years old, finished playing pro baseball, and I've always wanted to serve. I did have a bachelor's, so I would love to know how it's going to help me as a permanent resident when I'm thinking about joining. So, Junior, I apologize. I don't recognize your name. I'm not into sports, so I wouldn't know your name, but appreciate you. Looking forward to joining as a permanent resident holding a green card. And to answer your question is because you have a 4-year degree, once it gets translated, if it's not in English, and evaluated, as long as it's evaluated at a 4-year degree or better, you'll be joining as a specialist E4. And that's pretty much it, because you're not a U.S. citizen. So if you want to check out this video, oh, here we go. It's my MOS video, and that'll break down to you all that stuff. But yeah, having a 4-year degree means you're going to come in at a higher rank of specialist E4. More money. And if you want to know what you get paid, check out my pay video here. In the description of the pay video, there's a calculator. Let me see if I have that calculator on short text here. Here's the calculator. I got it. Hell yeah. Because there was a 5% raise since I recorded that video. Oh, hang on. I forgot to. See, now you know what I type in my computer. When you see the NG pay, that's like the short text that auto populates the title and link to the video, link or to the video that I just posted. That's how I'm able to do this so fast, if y'all are wondering. Kim G says, it's for my son. You have helped him with the waiver process. I was just curious. I have pulled all of his that I can. Thank you. I appreciate all your help with the waiver process. Outstanding. Wow. I appreciate that. And hopefully everything works out in his favor. And definitely, please keep me informed. All right. Appreciate you. Yeah, we talked about that. Joey Ass says, can you join the Army with early stage of fatty liver disease? It's 50-50, and it ain't over until the fat lady sings, as they say, right? So leave it to the ref, all right? Ref meaning MEPS and the waiver authority. So the only way to find out is to get all of your records and hope and pray that your medical waiver gets approved. If it gets denied, then you're going to have to really work on your diet and try to reverse that. One person I want you to look up. So Dr. Berg has several videos on YouTube on how to clean up your fatty liver disease. So definitely go check it out. In fact, I think I have his channel linked in my fat loss video strategy video here. So check out the description here if you want a direct link. But if you just YouTube search Dr. Berg, you'll find his stuff there. And just look for reverse fatty liver on his channel and you'll find all of his videos. He's very good at, and he's very knowledgeable. He's actually a doctor. It's no cap. Xavier Butler says, well, I graduate. Oh, yeah, talk about that. Martin says, I love your podcast. Can I join the Army National Guard with bad teeth? Well, first of all, thank you so much for liking my channel. And as far as your teeth are concerned, as long as visibly, because when you go through MEPS, they do a quick look in your mouth. Half the time they don't. But as long as there's visibly less than 30% issues with your teeth, then you'll be good to go. And then when you get to the training site, whatever cavities or work that needs to get done, like wisdom teeth extractions, they'll do that at that time. But when you're going through MEPS, as long as it's less than 30% of the overall view of your teeth being decay or whatever the case may be, you'll be fine. But in my, well, not in my experience because I'm never there, but whenever I talk to my applicants when they're processing, more than half the time, they don't even look inside the mouth. So they probably don't really look into your mouth unless you have visible issues with the front main teeth, if that makes sense. Like if it's noticeable, then they'll probably peep in there, but you should be fine. Junior also says, this is the same book I bought at Prep. Yeah, that's a good book. Any ASVAB prep book is going to be good as long as you use it and you use it consistently. Consistency is key. Grammar Hero is another great channel. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And I'll link it in here too if you guys want to look it up. Because it's one that I share often. I think that was for the other person who answered your question. Small Town Rider says, I watched your videos prior to going to basic. I went through the prior service. Ooh, awesome. Army integration course, and we'll be doing AIT in May. Just wanted to say, watching you helped. Outstanding. That's what I'm talking about. So, Small Town Rider, if you can, this would be so perfect. Oh man, this is awesome. I'm not sure if you're interested. Like you don't, I want to offer you the opportunity to be able to speak with me, if you will, about your experience in the prior service Army integration course. Because one of my battle buddies in my company, she was one of the drill sergeants for that, I think a year ago-ish. And having your experience as the trainee being the prior service soldier and her being the drill sergeant, putting your guys' experience together, and then my little flavor of, the information about it would make for a killer video. So if you're interested in sharing your experience, it doesn't have to be on video, but if we could at least talk, that would be great. If you could reach out to me on my email, Team Swartz Media, all right, or my Instagram, Team Swartz. Also go in the chat box too. That would be greatly appreciated. But I appreciate that my channel had helped you in some way before leaving, so appreciate you. We got South Jersey Artisan with the hashtag Team Swartz. Appreciate you, brother, as always. Benjamin also says, did you respond, sir? Thank you, by the way. IST inter-service transfer. Saw somewhere you needed to have a specific GT for a Ranger regiment. Yeah, I'm not sure how strict the Ranger regiment is, but that's definitely for active duty. I would assume that there is no GT waiver unless they're entertaining it like the Special Forces where they dropped it down to 100. But my best bet for you is, no, that's the Marine to Guard program. But I did address this earlier in the stream, but ask the career counselor on your Marine base or the recruiter that you're processing if they waive that. And, South Jersey Artisan, if you're still here, do they typically offer line score waiver for the GT line score for the Ranger Regiment? I'm going to ask a friend of mine. She was on the pod not too long ago, Sergeant Bernard, or known on YouTube called Erica Burney. Does Ranger Regiment offer GT line score waivers for prior service applicants? There, I sent her the message and we'll see if she responds. All right. So with that being said, I'll let you know. South Jersey Artisan, you were gone for 4 months. Definitely 3. I'm not sure if it was 4 months, but it was definitely 3 months for sure. That is true. Jeffrey Rio says, I found out I had a tree nut allergy. I was going to make an appointment with an allergist to get a waiver, but I ate some walnuts and had an allergic reaction. Lifelong dreams died due to the tree nuts. SMH. No LOL. OMG, you should try to do a... No, that wouldn't work because you just said that you did have an adverse reaction, so that wouldn't work. How severe was your reaction to the tree nut allergy? Yeah, I figured they were pretty strict with the GT line score waivers and stuff. Gotcha. Appreciate the assist, South Jersey Artisan. So those of you that don't know who he is, he's a retired, obviously he retired from the Army, so he did a lot of awesome things. In fact, I did a podcast with him. But prior to his retirement, he served a few years as a recruiter. So he's very knowledgeable as an active duty recruiter. At least what was current at the time he was recruiting. Ugh Caveman says, there's a piece of advice. Do not join the military. Do literally anything else. Former Marine Sergeant here. Well, I appreciate you sharing your opinion, but do me a favor, Caveman. I would appreciate that if you're going to make a statement like that, share with us your why. Like, why should people not join the military? And you don't speak for everyone, obviously, but if you want to share your experience that led you to believe that, I would greatly appreciate it if you add value to your statement instead of just throwing a blanket statement as if you were speaking for everyone. All right. Appreciate you though. All right, Junior Kalanko, I'm going to come back to you because I just got a super chat, so stand by. Oh, it's not in my chat box yet, but I see it here. Hang in there, Canelo. It's not in my chat box. I want to give you the proper... Here we go. Thank you so much. Oops, what did I do? Oh, here we go. So thank you so much, Canelo, for supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. And this person says, hello, sir. Do you know where I can find the shortest term contracts in the Army? I'm interested in the 2 or 3 year contract. I actually did a whole video. Oh, why is that not working? Really? Here we go. Army contracts video, so you can watch it in detail. But my advice to you is reserve, for the most part, only offer you a 6-year contract as a minimum contract option. If you go National Guard, for a good 95% of the jobs that are out there, or MOSs, will allow you to sign a minimum of a 3-year contract. If you're going regular Army, the minimum contractual obligation is 4 years, but they do have a 2-year option, but it's not as good as it sounds. The 2-year option works like this. You join the regular Army, which is full-time active duty, for a 2-year contract. Your 2-year contract starts when you're MOS or job qualified and you're at your unit of assignment. Then that 2-year countdown clock begins for your contract. So all the time of you signing your contract, waiting to ship, and conducting and completing all your initial training, none of that counts towards your 2-year contract. Furthermore, you have to do a minimum of 2 years active duty, and then from there, if you do not re-enlist or extend your contract on active duty, you have to choose to do 2 additional years in the Guard or Reserve. So it's split 50-50 with 4 years. So no matter what, you're doing a 4-year plus contract. All right. So you're doing 4 years, 2 years active and 2 years in a reserve if you don't extend on active duty. And then you can leave the Army altogether and go into the IRR, the Inactive Readiness Reserve, for the next 4 years until your MSO, your military service obligation, is completed when your 8th year anniversary comes and goes. So anyone who's joining the United States military incurs a military service obligation of 8 years, which is broken up into 2 obligations. You have your contractual obligation and your statutory obligation. Your contractual obligation is where you're actually working full-time or part-time. And then if you elect to leave the military, the remaining balance of your unserved time in your MSO will be served in the IRR, the Inactive Readiness Reserve, which is your statutory obligation. Meaning that while you're in the IRR, the Army knows your skill sets and your experience, and if they need you for a deployment or a mission, whether it's within the states or overseas, they can pull you out of the IRR and send you on that mission. So do with that information as you see fit, but just understand that the minimum contract that you're talking about of 2 years is going to be at least 2.5 to 3 years, including the wait time to ship out to basic training and all of your initial entry training, which includes your basic training and your AIT at minimum, or the OSA, your one station unit training if you're going combat arms. But so you're looking at 3 to 4 years no matter what in its entirety. But yeah, those are my thoughts. And the 2-year option is called option 21 for active duty regular Army. So if you're going part-time in the Guard or Reserve, go Guard if you want a 3-year contract. And again, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Appreciate you. All right, Junior. What about if I got surgery in his wrist 5 years ago, but was out of the U.S. and don't have the medical records. Here, I haven't gone to the hospital or used any prescriptions. My 13, yeah. Okay, perfect. So if there are no records found, then you're gonna have to go to at least your primary care physician. I would recommend that you get a X-ray done based on the X-ray, and then whatever mobility, agility, and flexibility type of assessments that your primary care doctor can do for you. They can determine that based on the patient expresses that they had XYZ wrist surgery in ABC country around this time frame, based on today's evaluation, conducting ABC tests. I do not see any reason why he can not do, basically have no limitations or restrictions to conduct any physical activities, to include but not limited to crawling, kneeling, walking, running, sprinting, jogging, jumping, climbing, pushing, pulling, or lifting, even under heavy load. And if there's no metal in your wrist, they can confirm that as well, meaning no screws, pins, rods, mesh, things of that nature. Hopefully that makes sense. And obviously you're going to be checking for full range of motion and having all digits. See if you can go up and down like this, side to side, up and down, rotate both directions, right? They're going to want to know all of that stuff. And as long as it was more than 5 years ago, you should be fine. In the end, it'll get approved. We got Giuseppe De Rosa with the hashtag Team Swartz. Appreciate you. Xavier Butler also says, I'm permanent resident, so I know about this one. Gotcha. Giuseppe also says, why is the Army bad at teaching things? At least my own personal opinion on this. Honestly, I just think it's the unit that you're assigned to. And I'm only saying that because I'm a little privy to the things that you've shared with me in private in the DMs on Instagram. But I just think it's the leadership that are around you, unfortunately. I would encourage you to find a different unit to transfer to. See if you can request a transfer to a different unit if that's possible. Dela and Patrice, the dog Bates family, says, I found your channel and it's been extremely helpful for me to understand everything going on with my husband right now. He's currently in basic training for the Army National Guard. Outstanding. Well, welcome to the channel. Glad I was able to help you out in some way. And congrats to you guys, and good luck. Junior Kakano says, is here from U.S., played in Oklahoma. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't watch sports. I really don't. The only time I ever paid attention and watched sports was when I was training in mixed martial arts. So at the time when I was training for I trained for 5 years, but for about 6 years, I religiously watched the UFC. But other than that, I haven't done anything with sports. I mean, the Yankees are my favorite football team, if you know what I'm saying. I keyed. Casey Miller says, I have a pending second DUI. I know this creates a hurdle to commission as an officer. Yeah, your dreams of becoming an officer is down the drain right now. Yeah, no. For a new person coming in, no, hard pass. You're definitely not getting approved for that waiver. Not for to become an officer. You can get a waiver to join as an enlisted soldier for a non-clearance position, but to come in as a commissioned officer or military police or anything that requires a clearance, no, that's a hard pass. You are definitely not going to be able to choose a position like that. So when it comes to having a colorful past like this, you have to understand that when you're first joining, it doesn't matter how good your character references are. The investigators in the military are just not going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Believe your character references. So think of it as like building credit, right? Whether you're starting out with no credit or you have bad credit history, you have to build your credit, right? So consider it like credit. So when you join the military, they don't know you, they don't trust you. You're lucky you're even getting a waiver for having 2 DUIs in your example. So beggars can't be choosers at this point. So get your foot in the door, settle for something a little less exciting. And over the next 2 to 3, 4 years, be on your best behavior, go above and beyond what's expected of you, be like the best of the best, and build your resume of like just epic experiences and evaluations. So then towards the end of your contract, you can negotiate reclassing into an MOS of choice, or possibly an opportunity like this, where now you have military history and experience for the investigator and the United States Army in this example to be able to look back on with trustworthy references. They can call back to your squad leaders, first sergeants, platoon leaders, company commanders, pretty much various leaders throughout your history and currently, to be able to bounce questions off of, and they will be considered trusted references for your consideration for whatever MOS or opportunity that you're trying to seek. So look at it as building credit. So hopefully that makes sense, and good luck to you. Junior Calcano says, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Thank you. Team SWARTZ looking tired today. Feel better, brother. Appreciate you. I am tired. I don't know why, but I am. I think part of it is because my eyes are drying out from the contacts. Kick Clip says, hashtag Team SWARTZ. I never was diagnosed with eczema, but I think I have it since I was a child. I'm 31 now. Never went to get checked. It doesn't bother me. Do you think waiver? It's 50-50 if that waiver will get approved. A lot of them, unfortunately, get denied. So do not disqualify yourself. You're not a doctor and you do not practice medicine. So as far as I'm concerned, what eczema? You were never diagnosed from a legitimate doctor or a dermatologist for that matter. So do not self-diagnose and disqualify yourself from service. So if you have any type of skin issue, just make sure that the day you're doing MEPS processing that you just don't have any flare-ups or issues with your skin, and you'll be fine. But the moment you self-diagnose and disclose it, now you have to get a waiver, and chances are that waiver can honestly disqualify you. Joey, you're very welcome. Kit Clips is Army Active Duty. I'm not sure what that's relating to, unfortunately. Oh, I passed it. How did I pass that? Kit Clips says, hashtag Team SWARTZ. Oh yeah, okay. That was just added to that. Gotcha. Junior says, also you did a video for immigrants joining with permanent residency. You said you were going to do a part 2, but I never found it. Might love to use it. Yeah, that's on my to-do list. It's just because at the time it was during COVID and they had pretty much stopped and halted all U.S. citizenship application process at the training sites. It has been reinstated since, but to be real brief, you can ship out with a completed N400 and N426. I say complete it before you leave so that you have all the information and you have it with you so that when they give it to you again, if it's not incorrectly filled out, you will refill it out, but you'll have all the information with you because you already pre-filled those forms before you left. And then you will submit it and they will set you up with the verbal and written test while you're at the training site. And on graduation day, prior to your graduation ceremony, you'll have your citizenship ceremony and then do your regular graduation ceremony with everyone else. So most of you will have your U.S. citizenship by the time you graduate from basic training. So in a nutshell, that's basically what happens currently. And you're very welcome. Tony Kirk says, what's up? Joining the Army soon. I was wondering, would a minor carpal tunnel stop me from joining? Didn't get any medication or surgery, plus it healed over time. Tony Kirk, was this a self-diagnosis or is this diagnosed from a medical professional? But you got to understand that people claim disability for carpal tunnel. And it's a hard waiver to get approved, depending on how bad it is. What works in your favor is that it is healed. Maybe it was just agitated based on the job or tasks that you were doing at the time that was aggravating it. That would probably increase the probability that the waiver might get approved. But if it was never diagnosed, what are we talking about here? Don't open up a can of worms you don't want to open up, if you know what I mean. Read between the lines, you know what I'm saying? Small Town Rider says, will do. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. South Jersey says, I keep it 100 and now I have extra reasons to not appear biased. Hell yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I didn't. So I'm glad you said that, because as you could tell, I'm primary, for the most part, I'm unbiased on the channel. And the reason being is I want people to make the right decisions for their reasons and their reasons alone. So that's the primary reason. Well, that was the main reason why I did not recruit on the channel after I initially started to, when I first started the channel, because I didn't want to come off biased towards the National Guard, because obviously that's what I do in my day-to-day. And that bothered me because I wanted people to make the right decision for their reasons, not because I'm a recruiter and I'm trying to recruit. So that's why the main reason was I didn't do it. Now I don't recruit on here because it would go against Army regulation or the ALARAC or policy, basically, and the DoD policy where, yeah. So as you can tell, my channel is monetized, so I cannot directly recruit on here or be in an official capacity or in uniform, and so on. So, but yeah. But that's the reason why I am not biased here on the channel, because I want you all to make better decisions, not because I want you to join the Guard or whatever the case may be. And it just feels weird just selling one branch of the service. I wish I could sell all of them, honestly. Spike, how long after a broken wrist is healed can you join? Honestly, I would probably say at least 6 to 12 months. I mean, it depends on how bad it is. It could be longer than that. So I guess if you broke your wrist, how long did it take for your doctor to give you the all clear to do anything physical with your wrist after that surgery? And that would be the minimum on the civilian side. And then MEPS is a little more conservative, so they'll add some more weeks or months to that. But I would say off the top of my head, without looking it up, it's probably at least 6 to 12 months, depending on the severity and the issues relating to the wrist. So if the person here was that asked me earlier about the Ranger Regiment, and if you can get from the Marine Corps, if you can get a GT line score, how many points off were you for the GT line score? I should have asked that earlier. Martin says, awesome. I'll keep you posted on when I get to MEPS. I'm 43 years old, prior service, so basics should be fun to do at 43. Absolutely. I did it at 38, so it's not too far off. Honestly, it wasn't that bad for me. Well, I shouldn't say I did basic training at 38. I did basic training at 19 years old, but I did the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy at 38 years old. So it's like going through basic training again. And I appreciate the hashtag Team Swords. But if you're interested in watching this video, it's joining at an older age if you haven't seen it yet. Jeffrey Rios, my reaction wasn't too severe, but I did have a tight chest, itchy mouth, and throat, nausea, and got lightheaded. My recruiter said that unless the reaction was extremely mild, then it's an automatic DQ. Yeah, that's what I was trying to determine, if it was like a mild one, like a non-life-threatening allergy reaction. So my suggestion is do a food allergy taste test where you consume it in front of a medical professional and they can annotate how severe that allergy is. Now, if you know that you're going to die or whatever, then don't do this food allergy test. But if it's truly and genuinely mild, having that food allergy challenge taste test conducted in front of a medical professional and they can verify and validate that, yes, it's a mild allergy, it's not life-threatening, blah, 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 then you could get a medical waiver approved. It's still closer to 50-50, but it definitely increases the probability that you can get a favorable outcome on that medical waiver. Without that, you're a no-go at this station. Do I believe that the draft is coming soon? No, I do not. And honestly, as a service member myself, I don't want the draft. I don't want people serving next to me that don't want to be here. I want somebody who's going to protect me and be there for me as much as I'm going to be there for them. And I want people to want to be here so that the job gets done in accordance to regulation and policies. South Jersey Artisan, honestly, how have you been? Honestly, well, I mean, you saw when I posted that video a couple years back, but I'm back to the stage of my career or as a recruiter where I'm like a highly stressed out but highly functioning mother flower again. I'm fine. My mother passed away, which is why I was away for a few months, starting in like late August and early September. But, you know, that's life. C'est la vie, as they say in French. But, you know, I'm getting through it one day at a time. And I just feel meh. But we could talk offline about it. But I appreciate you asking, though. Thank you. Duck, I'm going to come back to you, all right? Because I got a super chat coming in from Canelo. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for, again, supporting the channel, sir. I prefer to act duty to enlist in the police as I'm 33 and I lack a college degree. Police requires either 60 college credits or 2 years of active service. I can see that. Oh, you prefer active duty. Yeah, I could support that. Yeah, absolutely. Use and abuse active duty. So yeah. Then I would definitely recommend a 2-year contract then. If you can get option 21 approved for active duty, where you get duty station of choice. No, not duty station of choice. No, it's not option 21. It's something else. You want, man, I can't remember. I think is it option 19? Let me ask ChatGPT. Which Army active duty option allows 2-year contract? But then you're doing, well, yeah, because you can still do the reserve at the same time. Oh, it actually doesn't say what option it is. Maybe because I didn't turn on pro. Which active Army option allows for a 2-year enlistment contract? Option 26. There we go. So for active duty, it's option 26 for the 2-year contract. But again, like I said earlier, if it was or wasn't you, I can't remember, but it's 2 years of active duty service, and those 2 years don't begin until you're at your unit of assignment after you were MLS qualified. So it's going to be 2.5 to 3 years by the end you complete that 2-year contract, and then you have to transfer to the guard or reserve. Yeah. So thank you, appreciate you. All right, Duck, I've been looking into some stuff lately. I just want your input. How hard do you think RASP would be? Considering I've never done RASP, but I've had soldiers do it, and about 50% of them pass and 50% don't. So if you're already physically active and you have a good basic level of physical fitness, then I think that you'll be fine. Just understand that by the time you get to RASP, that you should be drinking plenty of water. Like even on the weekends, if you have off in between the different phases, because you're gonna go through like pre-ranger and all that stuff. Continue to drink water, add salt and sodium to your meals and stuff like that, because you want to stay hydrated. And then just, stay focused and try not to get injured. Don't be a hero. Just do what you need to do to get that W, if you know what I mean. Tori says, when people get uncharacterized discharges, do they usually get an RE code 3? Depends on the reason, the narrative reason for separation, meaning the reason why they're being discharged. If it's it's not always, again, it depends on the why to why they're being discharged. I can be your Luther from Key and Peele. Hell yeah, let's do it. Team Sword, Arms 2.0, 09 will open or fully discontinue. So 09 Mike is fully open. All right, 21 to 30 for the academic track, and for the Arms 2.0 and 2.1 programs, you could be 2 to 8% over your maximum allowable body fat to go through those programs. Johnny Snado says, have you ever interacted with or met someone who was a 56 Mike religious affairs specialist, or have any idea what their role is like in the Army? Now, Johnny Snados, this is for active duty, right? So, hang on, I got another super. I'm gonna come back to you, Johnny Snados, because this is what I do. Canelo, I appreciate you. You didn't have to give me another $2 just to say thank you. I really do appreciate it. Much love. Thank you. So, Johnny Snotnose says, have you ever interacted with, yes, not on active duty, but in the guard, yes. So your job is to help out the chaplain conducting religious services and whatever it is that they tell you to do. And your job is to protect them and to keep them on track and to be with them wherever they go. So as a active duty chaplain, they may counsel soldiers and may travel to a soldier's home and counsel them or converse with them or whatever. So you're like kind of like their driver, their protector. You make sure that they're on track with their schedule, and like I said, you assist them in their when they conduct religious services. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, I don't know any active duty 56 mics, but I do know some 56 mics that are on the part-time side in the guard. Giuseppe says, got respect for Team Swartz. This guy really cares. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you as always. Do you see the Army changing their stance on facial hair anytime soon? Anytime soon? No. Is the conversation finally on the table? Yes. I think that eventually it will get approved, but I'll probably be retired by that point. Hashtag I'm just saying. South Jersey Artisan says, you said some of this, but last thing in the forum about exemption says this on May 8th. Option 40 have been eliminated. There is now a 100 GT required for 11X. Option 40 down from 105. Those with less than 100 GT score can still pursue option 40. Okay, there you go. The more you know. Perfect. Kick clips. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Mark Taylor with the at ease. Totally understandable, though. Taking a break. We missed your lives. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you. New Jersey does it. Option 19. Gotcha. State trooper exemption here. Need to push for AS and criminal justice. Gotcha. Crazy thing is, I use ChatGPT to make my training schedule to get ready for Army. Guess we all use it now. Absolutely. I use it for everything. Anything and everything I want to know about. I ask ChatGPT. But I use a website called, or an AI variant of ChatGPT 4.0, I think it is. It's called Perplexity. I like ChatGPT. It's great for what it is, but it's very rigid in like using prompts in a good way. And if you don't have a good prompt, then you don't really get what you're really looking for. What I appreciate with Perplexity is you could talk to it like a normal person, and it just gets you. It understands you. And it's more conversational. It's great. Love it. Nathan says, just got medical waiver approved. Psoriasis, Army Reserve now onto moral and dependent weight. Outstanding. Good luck. Tony, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I hope that you do become the Sergeant Major of the Army. You're very welcome, Duck. Appreciate you. Giuseppe says, do you think that E5 rank has gone down in quality now because of the new rule changes to get there? No. Honestly, it's happened before in the past, and it will forever happen. It's just based on the needs of the Army and just whatever they decide to do. You know, we just roll with the punches. You know, all I say, and I'm pretty sure I said it to you before, that just be the NCO, the leader that you never had. Right? So whether you have good leaders above you or not so good leaders above you, the not so good leaders are showing you exactly what not to do, and the good leaders are telling you or showing you what you should be doing. So emulate the best leader that you've ever had and take that a step further and be the best that you wish that you have ever had, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm not going to be a sergeant major. Nope. Not at all. I thought you meant for yourself, not for me. Nah. Would I love to be sergeant major? Absolutely. Just not in recruiting. I have no desire to move up in rank in recruiting. Matt Carter says, regarding vaccinations at basic, is it possible to not get the mRNA ones? Myrna. What's? Hang on, let me find out what Myrna is. Sounds familiar. I just not familiar with it. I don't pay attention to stuff. I just get whatever the Army tells me to get. I just fall in line. I conform. if that makes sense. What is Myrna vaccines? All right, tell me how it works, but not really what it's for. What is it preventing? Oh, if there's anything to do with the Rona, then yeah, that's an option, but not required to join if that's what you're talking about. Alexis also says, can Army Reserve also apply for Special Forces Green Berets, and can you still do it after the age of 34? Unfortunately, Alexis, you joined the wrong component of the Army. There are no Special Forces for the Army Reserve. Special Forces is only for the regular Army, which is active duty full-time, and for the Army National Guard. Both of those components of the Army has Special Forces, but the Army does not have any Special Forces. So you joined the wrong one. You could have went regular Army, or you could have went National Guard for Special Forces. But if you already signed up for the reserve, you're dead in the water. Giuseppe says, have you ever met a David Goggins type of soldier? Yeah. I recruit for the infantry, and there's a lot of those wannabe Goggins in there. So just throwing that out there. And one of them is funny as hell. Sergeant Schnell, and he is hilarious. He's got me saying this word or phrase, mouth breather. Look at this freaking mouth breather. Blah, blah, blah. It's hilarious. Doug says, if you don't mind me asking, what are you going to do in the next in your military career? Nothing. I'm going to stay in recruiting until I leave, probably around 2026. As long as I can do everything I want to do between now and then, if I get everything set up, I'll be out of here in 2026. So I'll just be recruiting. Johnny Snino says, is it actually difficult to go on leave if you have the correct amount of time saved up to take it? For regular Army, plan on having block leave where everyone is encouraged to take up to 2 weeks off during that time frame. And then the other 2 weeks that you have remaining is going to be up to the company commander's discretion whether or not they approve it during the middle of the year. If you plan it out in advance, it shouldn't be that big of a problem. Last minute leave requests, don't plan on it. Mark Taylor, the closest thing they have to Special Forces in the Reserve is 11 series. Yes and no. There are no major infantry unit options for the Army Reserve. There is one singular infantry unit, and I believe they transferred to the state of Washington. That is the only state for the entire Army Reserve that has an infantry unit. The closest thing that you're going to get to combat arms in the Army Reserve is military police. Alexis, you're very welcome. Mark Taylor is going to say, nah, I'm out. As long as I can fix my exit strategy, I'm out of here. Chris says, you skipped my question, brother. Let me scroll up and see if I see another Chris. I'm scrolling up, but so far I don't see anything for Chris. So as I continue to scroll up here, Chris, if you're still here, do me a favor, resubmit your question, and I'll look on my iPad below and see if I see your question. But it's not in my chat box for some reason. It's not showing, it's not populating here. So you might have a word or phrase that I have blocked for a various reason. But I'm all the way back to 7:40 earlier this evening, and I don't see your question at all. Like, I don't see anything else with Chris. I apologize, but I just don't see it. So please resubmit. Ronan says, hi Swartz, I have a concern about a plantar's wart smaller than a pea on the side or on the sole of my foot. I have a decent size ganglion cyst on the top side of the same foot. Will those be disqualifying at MEPS? The ganglion cyst, I'm going to say yes. And I would definitely get that plantar's wart removed as well while you're in the process. So expect to get denied until those are cleared up. But once you do get them cleared, you should be fine. Have you ever met a Delta operator? No, but stay tuned because one of my good friends who I contracted into the Guard went active duty after he graduated from ROTC, he was supposed to go Special Forces, and it didn't work out. And I think he's going Delta Force if he's not already there. But I have to reach out to him and find out exactly where he's at now and what he's doing. if it doesn't violate any NDAs. Johnny's 90 says, just want to say thanks for all that you do, Mr. Swartz. It helps so many people, just so you know the impact you have on so many people's lives. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that a lot, actually. That's why I love doing what I do. And South Jersey Artisan says yes. Yes to what Johnny Snot-Nose just said, or yes to something else? South Jersey Artisan. I'm pretty sure you saw some Delta operators doing what you did. Oh, okay. Mountain Warfare School hard to get. You're in the Army Reserve, so the Reserve have deeper pockets for schools like that. If you're in a combat support role in a combat support unit, it's probably not going to be as easily available to you, but you know, have a really, really high PT score and put in their request. Chembion says, I want to ask you a question. May I? Yes, that's why I'm here. I'm all yours. I'm all ears. Or eyes. I'm all eyes. Big Pen says, I got a speeding ticket and driving with no tag ticket about 2 weeks ago. Am I screwed if I wanted to enlist? As long as you settle it, you're good to go. All right, those are moving violations, so it's just traffic, so you're fine. It's just that you cannot join with a pending or open case. You're going to have to settle it by either fighting it and settling it or paying the fine and accepting guilt. What I would suggest is it sounds like you're probably fighting it at this time, which is fine. But once you get test and phys qualified and you're ready to rock and roll, then you are at the point where you can make that decision. Do I wait until I fight this and clear it, or plead guilty and just drive on? You know what I'm saying? So Giuseppe De Rosa says, what does the Army Reserve have that the National Guard doesn't, other than maybe ranking up faster? So most of the medical assets are in the reserve. Majority, if not all, combat opportunities are in the National Guard. Johnny Snot-Nose says, what's one of your favorite parts of being a recruiter for the Army National Guard? That's a really good question. And it's one of the things that has kept me recruiting for 20 plus years is the difference in people's lives that you get to see over the years. Like watching them come in from one person and morphing in a positive way into a new, better person. And seeing the things that they accomplish with their life, and honestly, like the ones with the biggest glow up are the ones that motivate me the most, especially if they grew up less fortunate than some of us grew up, and seeing their current lifestyle and the opportunities they have at their fingertips because of their decision to serve. That's what's worthwhile. That's what motivates me to do what I do. But yeah, I would say that has the biggest impact on me right there. Saeed Abdullah says, kid is in the 11th grade. Recruiter wants him to go to boot camp in the summer and then AIT following year. He wants to go Army Reserve. Upon graduation, he has 3 years ROTC thoughts. I think he meant junior ROTC if he's in high school. Thanks for your help. So Saeed, that's called the split training option. I did a video here that you should check out. So I can't speak for that person that's in the 11th grade and what they should do. I can just tell you my experience and what I would have done if I had known that it was an option back in the day. So I contracted when I was 19 years old, straight out of high school as a high school senior. So between the fall and the early part of 2000 going into 2001, I was researching active duty, regular Army, and the Marine Corps. And those recruiters at the time, anyway, long story short, I was a senior in high school. And looking back now, I could have had one more extra year squeezed in there had I contracted and shipped out the basic training between the summertime between my junior and senior year. So for me, if I had known that option was available, I would have hopped on it. I'm only saying that because I'm a career soldier. Right? I've done this for over 20 years. But most people don't know if they're going to make this a career or not. So I'm not going to recommend that they do or don't. Just know that it is an opportunity. And most people between their junior and senior years aren't really doing anything worthwhile. So unless they're playing like football or sports or something that they would normally do in the middle of the summer, if they're not doing anything and they know for certain that they're going to join, then I would say they should entertain it. If they're not, or I mean, if they are doing something in the middle of the summer that's school related or something that a young person would do and they look forward to and they would want to do it, then my recommendation is hold off until your senior year. And I'm not your recruiter, so I don't have any skin in the game. And the reason why I say that if they do something in the summertime, I'm telling you to do that instead of joining, because when you graduate from high school, you have the rest of your life to be an adult. Enjoy your youth. Go to your prom. Play sports. Do school-related activities, whatever. Don't do drugs and do dumb stuff. But like, if it's school-related or something that you enjoy your youth, trust me, don't worry about adulting, right? I'm in adulthood and I'm trying to get out the hood, you know what I'm saying? So just enjoy your youth, right? But again, if they're not doing anything special in the summertime, then absolutely, hands down, I think it would be a great opportunity. But if you got something else going on in the summertime, just do that and contract in your senior year. Those are my 2 cents. So hopefully that works out for you. Do reservists and guardsmen who only do 6 years and get out, are they considered veterans? You're not combat veterans, but on paper you would be considered a veteran. So like if you're applying for a civilian job and they ask you, are you a veteran? Then yes, you will check the box that you're a veteran. But you're not a veteran as in like a retiree where you get retiree veteran benefits, if that makes sense. So for employment purposes, yes. As a retiree, no. Spike, broken wrist didn't require surgery or physical therapy. I guess I'll just worried about Genesis pulling up my required that show high school surgeries. I'm looking into Rangers lost 125. I honestly, I think between you and me, I think you'll be fine regardless for those opportunities with the appropriate waivers. Ian says, howdy, I am thinking about enlisting. I started some PT and studying. Outstanding. Good stuff. Which state are you located from, Ian? Let me know in the chat box. Lorraine Paul says, thank you for all that you do. Option 19, choice of duty station. Do you have to say what station you want in the initial contract, or does it state option 19 and choice happens after AIT? That's a really good question, but honestly, I'm 99.99999% sure that that's determined at time of enlistment, not after the fact, because it's got to be in your contract. You know what I mean? Pigpen says, once you get the VA home loan, is there any rules on selling or flipping the home after a few years? No, you just have to live in the home for at least 12 years before you can flip it, sell it, get rid of it, or rent it out to somebody else. Trembion says, can I go to the Marine Corps without a high school diploma? No. I am planning on moving to the States. I did basic Army training in Canada. Black Bear program. Cool. Yeah, no, unfortunately, you need at least a GED well, if you have a GED, they may require 15 college credits, but you need a diploma or a GED for sure at minimum. Ian says Texas. All right. Good stuff. what I'm talking about. Johnny Snotno says, will you start to do roast of that M word, 4-letter word after you retire? M word. Oh. Woo. I'm glad you remembered. Yes, that is definitely on my to-do list. Faux shizzle, my nizzle. For those of you that know, you know. And if you don't know, you will. At least 60 minutes of a roast. Minimum. Shoot. I'll open it up to so many people across this great country. It'll just be a royal roast. YF says, would the dual citizen thing impact 35 limit? Yes, you're going to have to renounce citizenship for that MOS for sure. Ghost says, what is this dream about? I'm just wondering. Also, sorry for the profile picture. I don't care about your profile picture. Don't offend me, but what dream are you talking about? Let me know. Vladimir Francois says, is there any update to the Cat 4? They mentioned it will be available soon. I did a whole video on it. So that's how it works. It typically requires you to test twice, scoring between a 21 and a 30, medically qualified, and they usually dictate a handful of MOSs, eligible MOSs that you can with that program, and you have to ship out at the next available date, and there's no wiggle room in most cases, but they'll usually have the prerequisites for you at that time. But Cat 4 can also be offered up to or as low as 16. So 16 to 30 in general is Cat 4 or test category 4, but usually the program is for 21 to 30. But now that we have the 09 mic program for Cat 4s from 21 to 30, Cat 4 is for 16 to 30, generally speaking. Ultron, likelihood of mental health waiver after multiple mental hospital stays. Ultron, you're going to have to watch my video here for a fighting chance. Good luck, and may the waiver gods forever be in your favor. He figured it out. He said it. Ooh. Ghost says, no, I meant to say, what stream is this about? Oh, this stream that you're on now? So if you're new here, you don't know who I am. My name is Lewis, and I help thousands of people across this country make better decisions throughout the journey of the joining process into the United States Army or the military in general. And I help people get mentally and physically prepared for Army basic training. I have over 20 years of recruiting experience, almost 24 years of service, and I love what I do. And this is a personal page, so yeah. What else you want to know? Giuseppe says, I met a recruiter who is getting people in with no high school diploma. He basically has his applicants take some college courses and get in, even allowed. Yes, I know how he's doing it. So there's a website called sophia.org. I'll type it in here. I do plan on doing a video on this at some point. But sophia.org, and they knock out specific courses that equate to college credits, and then they get a college, usually this one in Florida, that will convert them into college credits. So as long as they have 15 or more college credits, then they'll be able to join as if they had a high school diploma, and they're good to go. Exactly what you're talking about there. I'd be there. I know a few MEPS issues that can come to light. LOL. Hell yeah. Trembion says, will that work for me? Not having a diploma? Oh, yeah, because I think you said that you don't have a diploma. Possibly. Ghost says, how can I join the Marine Corps? Also, I'm from Kentucky. Hello from Kentucky. Unfortunately, you're going to have to contact your local Marine Corps recruiter. I am with the Army National Guard, but good luck with the Marine Corps. Just Google U.S. Marines and find their official website. Click the Contact Us tab and find out who your local recruiter is, and hopefully they'll reach out to you. Richard Fernandez says, what are some MOSs that deal with technology, computer focus, like cybersecurity? 17C, 25B is a cybersecurity and information technology specialist, but pretty much anything in the 25 series. is computers and radios and communication. Yeah, I don't know anything about the Marine Corps. This is an Army channel, all right? Where the grass is greener. Or is it? Duck says, I have a question and you might not know, but if I were to do Ranger sniper training and I fail, could I try again, or is it a one-time thing? Honestly, I wouldn't know. I guess it would depend on the reason why you got dropped from the course, if you could try again. Like if you were at no fault of your own, if that makes sense. Ghost says, how can I join the Marine Corps? I also am from Kentucky. I already addressed that. But this is the first time that you brought up autism, and I have a video for you right here. Check it out. So if you're autistic on the higher end spectrum, then you're good. Or should be good, in theory. Mr. Bully says, I'm looking into Sophia right now, but wondering how it would work and what classes I need to take to be able to join. So Mr. Bully's DM me on Instagram, and sometime tomorrow I will send you some photos of courses that you can take. And once you get enough of them, 15 or more, then I'll tell you what your recruiter needs to do to send to what college to convert them into college credits at a minimal fee. So for like less than $30, you could literally do all this. The more you know. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. John Edwards says, if you've been diagnosed with schizophrenia and you're still on medication, can you still go into the military? Anytime you're on any medication, for the most part, you're ineligible to join until a certain amount of time has gone by while being off of medication. And then whatever the condition is, would also have a minimum waiting period before you can reapply. So when it comes to mental health, and that's a pretty significant diagnosis, and with you being on medication, you're going to have to be off of medication for a minimum of 12 to 36 months. That's 1 to 3 years. And then be able to be in a position where you get like an all clear letter. So I talk about it. That falls under the mental health portion of this video. But here's my medical waiver guide that will break that process down for you and give you the best possible position to put yourself in to get a favorable result in your medical waiver request. So good luck to you. YF says, if I enlist in 11 Bravo, can jump school be in the package? If you're going active duty, yes. Guard, not unless your state has an airborne unit or special forces unit that you're going into. Duck says, well, I'll try my hardest to get in. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Good luck to you. We're told it's coming, but we haven't seen it yet. So we're getting our applicants ready by getting them to test twice and completing the medical exam and applying for any waiver that they need, other than moral waivers, because usually moral waivers disqualify them from that option. Giuseppe says or asks, how do you feel about the ACFT? Do you feel it needs any changes? So it's funny that you brought this up, and I highly doubt anyone's going to make it this far into this live stream, restream later on if they decide to watch the rebroadcast. But I am living proof that you cannot work out for a year and a half and still pass the Army Combat Fitness Test. So I just did my third ACFT, and I have not worked out, or I may have had a short period of working out for like 6 weeks earlier this year. before my PT test in June, before I re-injured myself again. But between back injuries and dealing with this digestive issue that I have going on with my stomach and intestines, I have not consistently worked out at all or anything of significance to have any type of positive effect on the Army Combat Fitness test. But I literally passed the Army Combat Fitness test with relative ease. And so I think that the minimum standards, in my opinion, should be raised a little bit, to be quite honest with you. Maybe I passed because of muscle memory. That could be it, but I've literally have not been doing any cardio. I have not done any strength training in the last 6 months. And the 6 months before the last one, I worked out for maybe 6 weeks before, 4 to 6 weeks before I re-injured my back again. So I think that the minimum standard, in my opinion, should be raised a little bit. But I do feel that the 2-mile run to max it out is too strict. I think they should reduce it. Other than that, I think that all the standards that they've set forth is fine. I'm fine with the rest of the ACFT. I just don't like the 2-mile run. Yes, they got rid of the shark attack several years ago during COVID, I believe it was. I now love the pinks and greens. Hated them when I first saw them, but they grew on me. I love them now. Thank you. Thank you. But I just passed it. I maxed out the minimum. You know what I'm saying? And you never want to aim for the minimum. But, you know, between injuries and illnesses and procrastination, I was still able to pass. So that's a W. But I'm also 40-something on my way out the door, retiring soon. So, and I'm already at E7. So what do I have to prove? I'm no young chicken anymore. About to be 43. I don't have anything to prove. Rick C says, when MEPS looks at your pre-screen, what do they look at before they give you them? Go ahead. They look at your entire medical records in accordance with this video. And this one. So I go into grave detail in those 2 videos, so definitely check those out. But they're looking for showstoppers. In short. Opinion on the Space Force dress costumes. It's funny you call them costumes. I don't really care, honestly. It's just a uniform. I think they knocked off, what's that movie or show called? Not Star Wars, the other one. You know what I'm talking about. I think their logo reminds me of them. Star Trek, yes. Yes, Star Trek, that's right. Star Trek. No, definitely not Stargate. It was Star Trek. I think they took their logo and just... I think that's where they got their inspiration from, for sure. David Cruz Perez. Yes, the 09 mic program is closed for all prior service individuals, unfortunately. Now, I wish they would open it up, but I'm not chief for a day, so I can't do that. But I think they should open it up to prior service individuals. Yeah, I do dig the name, though. I do dig the name, for sure. The Guardians, absolutely. How is New York City these days? I don't know. I don't usually randomly walk around the streets, but I pretty much stay indoors. But crime is up. Very fast paced. Traffic is horrendous. I hate traffic. Absolutely hate traffic. Absolutely hate traffic. Did I mention I hate traffic? Yeah, I hate traffic. That's about it. I would become a Space Force, but the appeal of the Army is too much to resist. Gotcha. Yeah. Army's greener. Giuseppe says, if I were in charge of the Army for 2 months, what are you changing, adding, or removing? I would get rid of the 2-mile run on the Army Combat Fitness Test. What would I change about the Army? I would let people like me be an actual influencer for the Army. Hashtag I'm just saying. Take my name if you're in a position to do so. But the reason why I say that is because I think that the marketing teams for Big Army, the Army National Guard, and all the branch of services, they're really good at getting the initial interest. But the people that are in the trenches, like myself, like actual doers, the actual soldiers themselves who can speak about their military story or doing things like I'm doing, like helpful videos, we're the ones that people are looking to for answers to their question. Like when you walk into Chase Bank, you're not going to walk up to the CEO and be like, hey man, what's it like working here? Are the benefits are good? Or are the hours are good? Or, you know, how do you like working here? No, we're going to go to the people working at the tellers, the front door, whatever. Like, hey, how's it work? How's it working here? How's the pay? And do they treat you well and stuff like that? You're going to go to the lower ranking people, right? So why not have the people that are already on social media obviously set boundaries of what the left and right limits are, maybe pre-screen their stuff before it gets posted, whatever. But yeah, that's what I would like seeing change. But yeah, 2-mile run on the ACFT. I would reinstate leadership schools. I think that's wild that they got rid of BLC or the next one or whatever the case may be. Oh, I know what I would do. I would make the SHARP program an outside program, like not run by the military. I think it would be like, it would have to be a third party outside of the military, outside of the Army. Yeah, SHARP program needs to be, it's a great program. There's a lot of room for growth and change, but yeah, I think it would help that if it was done by a third party, because there's too much conflict of interest if it's within the Army, because they're always worried about their image, if that makes sense. Off the top of my head, that's what I think. And I would keep the 09 mic program for sure. Yep. David Cruz Perez, listen, don't do anything with motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, but if you have self-discipline, it doesn't matter how motivated you are. You get what you need done. So when it comes to it, you got to ask yourself, is this something that, like, am I committed or am I interested? If you're interested, you'll find an excuse. If you're committed, it doesn't matter. You'll make it happen. That's the difference. Yeah, I think it should be reduced to 1.5 miles. Or do it like 800 meter to 1 mile with a plate carrier. Yeah. No, that's too much. I need to chill. But yeah, 1.5 miles seems like a good distance or a better distance. I hear that. Thank you. Appreciate it. South Jersey Arson. What do you think of Sergeant First Class Buttersworth getting officially backing from NGB? He has been making his rounds on live TV. I wondered, why don't they have an influencer program for pre, current, and post? So I think Buttersworth is very, very funny. I think he's awesome for what he does. There are some things that, for a lack of a better phrase, silly, that are great for currently serving and prior service individuals that would get the joke, if that makes sense. that a new person looking to join won't get. But he's hilarious. He's down to earth. He's very humble. I love the guy personally. And yeah, so he is definitely working for NGB, helping them with their marketing and social media. And yeah, he did a live recently. I forgot the name of the show, but yeah, he's doing great things for the Guard. I'm not sure if it's getting people interested in joining, but he's definitely got a knack for being on camera for sure. He's very personable. Now, why don't they have an influencer program? Honestly, don't know. But me and Erica Burney is not piloting, but she's taking charge of an initiative that the regular Army did a few years ago, or attempted to start an Army brand ambassadorship program where they got social media influencers together to create content, collaborate, and talk about how we could help the Army improve their image and so on and so forth. But nothing really happened with it. It was when we went to celebrate the Army birthday. I did a vlog about it at the time. It's on my channel if you want to check it out. But the Air Force actually has officially started their very own influencer and ambassadorship program, or ambassador program. And I think it's phenomenal. She tagged me in it. So if you're interested, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll send you the post that she forwarded to me. But she wants to start an initiative like that with the regular Army as well. But yeah. YF, do you have to do 3 years in the National Guard before starting college? Nope. That's active duty regular Army. So if you're in the Guard or Reserve, you can go straight to college. I talk about the education benefits in this video if you're still here. And it's also linked down below. Yeah, it's definitely out of regs for sure. And he hates wearing his recruiter badge for some reason. I got other things to share, but I can't share it publicly. But with you, I'll talk to you about it in the DMs. With that being said, it is after 9 o'clock. Oh, hey, I got a really good question I want to talk about. Appreciate you, Ronan. Your channel helped me decision join. I'm currently in the process of talking to Colorado National Guard recruiter pre-podcast Saturday and recruiter Monday. Outstanding. Well, good luck to you, Ronan. Appreciate you. So last question of the evening, Giuseppe asked or told me, if you could create an Avengers of the Army social media, I guess members, who are you choosing alongside you? I would choose Erica Burney, hands down, for sure, who are currently serving, of course. So it would have to be Erica Burney, Here's the Drill with Sergeant First Class French. It would have to be Infantry Guru, the Sergeant Major out of the Florida Army National Guard. That are still serving. There are some other ones off the top of my head I can't really think of, but those are like the 3 main ones that I could think of. Oh, and obviously Buttersworth. Maybe even Era of Tech. I can see why sometimes they would like to, but he's too opinionated on certain things, and that makes him a little scary, or make them feel a little scared. But Era of Tech, amazing dude, very humble. Love the guy. And that's pretty much it that I can think of off the top of my head. Christopher Chaos is no longer in the military. He's out. So Christopher Chaos and Ben Allen, they're no longer in service. So they wouldn't be allowed to participate in that, unfortunately, because I would love to add Christopher Chaos for sure. And User Thomas, he's out. He's no longer in either. Mira, if that's what you want, I think you should definitely go for it. But before you choose that MOS, I definitely want you to check out this video right here coming into the chat box. And then it's also linked down, should be linked down below beneath the video as well. Graves. Oh yeah. Yeah, for regular army for sure. But he's not a video guy. He's very good at recruiting. He's very good at taking care of his soldiers, but he's not really a social media. Well, I guess he kind of is indirectly, just not on camera. But yeah, he's about to retire soon. I forgot about Graves. I think he's in Florida right now. Yeah, he hates videos. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Stay blessed. Be good. And I will see you all next week. Thank you very much. And you guys can Instagram direct message me too if you got any more questions, or post them below this video. But coming in the chat box right there. Yep. Tampa. Exactly. Take care, everybody. Appreciate you.